Welcome to Latinas Unmasked.
Our first story, or the title of our first story, is Last Minute Mandatory Saturday Training. Fine, but you're gonna feel that mileage.
What?
Sorry. Already messed up. We're starting great. Okay, but let's see what the story is about.
Yeah.
It has 3.6k upvotes, so it is quite a good story, I think.
Oh, okay.
By the way, just in case I didn't tell you, the upvotes are just an indicator of how popular the story is.
Like the likes on
exactly.
Facebook.
There's theoretically also a downvote button, but some of the rules of Reddit is that you should not downvote as much. So the upvote just indicates how good a comment was or how good a story is.
How
so
popular
it is pretty popular if
Okay.
it has 3.6k upvotes.
Oh, okay.
It
Good
just
to
means
know.
people liked it, the
Okay.
story, or found it interesting.
And now we are going to judge if it's really worth it.
Yes, we are. So, 15 years ago, I worked at a company that had regular mandatory training courses throughout the year. They always gave us plenty of notice, and we, co-workers, would usually carpool together to make the 1-hour drive less boring. And it also saved the company money as they paid for mileage.
So that's how many kilometers they do
I
when driving the
think.
car.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
we're talking from a very wealthy country called
Yeah.
Switzerland, so and I do not need to use any cars to get around. But
And overall, I wasn't sure what the word was hinting at. It could also be like the miles, for, planes.
I think that will be the biggest danger of doing this podcast, that people will realize how dumb we are. Actually, but anyway, just continue. Let's just.
It's just I had a different connection when I read that. I was thinking of, Miles and More, the program where you can earn miles when you go traveling. And
Let's move on and pretend we know what that actually means. Okay. And now.
Okay. Let's continue. There would be 5 employees in one vehicle, which was fine. But after a few years, the company became really, really concerned with their profit and seemed to no longer care about the employees. So one day they decided that employees had a mandatory training, but it was the following day, a Saturday, with not even 24 hours notice. They didn't care that we all had plans and families. The training was mandatory. So I went to every employee and shared my concern that the training tomorrow was way too short notice to carpool. I made sure we were all aware that it was too late to arrange a carpool for the 1-hour drive. We would all have to drive ourselves. So the next day, 45 employees drove their own vehicle to the training. The parking lot was full and some had to park in an overflow area or on the street. The admins were livid on Monday when they got 45 mileage, oh my goodness, sheets turned in and found out how expensive a last-minute mandatory training could be. Someone needs to send me a video on how to say that word.
To pronounce it.
How to pronounce it.
Yeah.
But I think 45 miles sheet, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah. That's the story. So the revenge here was actually that they all drove alone and the company has now to pay for it. So do we think this is petty, or is this a genius comeback, or is it just...
It's just a fair comeback.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that it's genius.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like they had to figure out how they could do the comeback in a very intelligent way. It was just like common sense kind of.
Actually, it was. I think,
strategy.
honestly, it's not less that he planned anything and just got back to them. It's really more that it's just a logical thing that had to happen. It's like, the company was dumb and now, well...
That's the price
of
doing a short
gotta pay
notice
now.
training. Yeah, so...
I
mean, as a Latina, I don't think that this is a story worth mentioning in the, petty revenge or genius comeback kind of category.
Well, to my defense, I tried.
All right, sorry, you're the one who's in the stories.
To my defense, who does all the things, plans those episodes. I try not to read the story. I always kind of try to read the title and just try to go as much blind into this reading as I can to get, my honest reaction, my blind reaction.
Yeah.
So I may, from time to time, kind of take a boring story because it's really hard to you know.
This is nothing against
but
but just you agree with me that this is like kind of it's
not,
very popular.
Yeah, that's the thing. And honestly, the comments are even shocking to me because our top comment is the word glorious point. And it's like,
oh my god. Okay.
I mean, he didn't do anything. He informed the company, and yes, they were. Oh, I mean, I get the part that HR was that admin was super angry about it. I mean, I understand. But then again, it was some CEO dude or whatever, admin board of the company that decided that, and they just did dumb things. Companies do that all the time.
Yeah,
it's like, well,
I mean,
joke's on you.
Yeah, genius or glorious. Those are kind of overrated adjectives for this story.
I mean, the next commenters wrote simple, effective, at last moderately petty, totally justified, impossible to argue with. Everything it should be for r/petty revenge. Chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss.
So I think maybe where they live or in America, this is really something. Maybe this is such a huge issue or something where people just feel furious the companies do those things, where they want you to drive all alone instead of doing a more budget-friendly thing, and then they're like, well, then at least pay. Because I feel like in our country, would you do a carpool? Because I feel like we all would be like, no way in hell I would do a carpool. I want to drive alone. Like we're used to me,
Yeah, well,
go with our
true.
own tune.
We need to consider that maybe this is happening in a country where employees do not defend their rights as much as we do in this country. So yeah, sorry for that. Sorry.
I think we're just so used
for being privileged.
Yeah. We're kind of used to that. If we have to go somewhere, it doesn't matter if we work on people do. I mean, take my husband, for example. He drives with his car all the time, and he drives alone. They don't do carpool, and the company pays. And it's like, yeah, I mean, okay, then they pay.
It's just,
I mean, okay,
like
I get
normal.
the fact that it's really annoying to get it short noticed. I mean, if you have plans on Saturday and then you have to go.
Yeah.
But I would have to say, if I would have been in this situation, I would have been angry about the fact that I had to cancel my plans on Saturday to go there. Just having the company pay for the fact that I drove alone and everyone else too would just feel so not enough. Like, I would be more angry than this, okay? Like, they need to pay more.
They need to bring more to the table.
Like, pay me for the time I had to give up.
But okay, anyway, next story. Let's
continue. Yeah.
I think that's all we've got to say. Sorry that we do not understand why something that is so basic to us when it comes to employees' rights is a huge deal for you.
But then again, you know what? Write in the comments what you think, and write why it could be such an issue, or why this is a glorious comeback. Maybe explain it to us. We would be happy to read your comments.
That's true.
Maybe you can bring us some light into the situation.